I did a video where I talked about the development of this featherboard. This is now a pretty common, some might say generic featherboard that originally was invented and patented by Shopsmith. In fact, the earliest ones were in gray and had a Shopsmith logo on them, and then they evolved into the burgundy color and say Edgewood, which was a trademark name owned by Shopsmith. There are a couple other iterations. The featherboard eventually was adapted for use on the Shopsmith jointer. And this version of the featherboard was designed for use with the Sawsmith 2000 table saw, a stationary table saw also made by Shopsmith. And then in recent months, I've talked about the bow featherboard, which I was looking for something that would give me a greater reach from the miter bar over to the blade. And on the Sawsmith table saw, it is a much greater distance from the miter slot to the blade than on all of my Shopsmith machines. That is why they came up with this additional back plate. And I think I have this one on backwards. I do. So now you can see that how with the T slots in the miter slot versus this expandable bar, how much greater reach we have with this version of the featherboard. If you have a standard Mark V, you don't need that, but if you have a Sawsmith 2000, you might. So I talked about how I was researching this bow featherboard and really like it. And it can be used on the Sawsmith 2000, and it can be used right here on the standard Mark V. This is the Mark V Model 510, and look at how far away we can pull this. How far, I'm using bad language here. And I talked about how this could be used on the standard Shopsmith miter slots, and I really like it. It gives me a great range, though again, on the Sawsmith, it allows even greater range because of that miter slot placement. This was patented by a gentleman with the last name Bow. That's where the name Bow comes from. And I think it's brilliant. These foam fingers here are replaceable. You can press that right out of this, this plastic injection molded part and swap out these as they wear out or become damaged. So I jumped on Amazon to purchase one of these for somebody who entered a challenge over at mygrowthrings.com and won. They won this and something else. And as I'm over there, Amazon shows me this product. And what is this product? Well, right off the bat, I see very similar foam fingers and a very similar base plate. And as I hold these up, obviously, it is an absolute knockoff for the bow. I'm assuming, I don't know this, I'm assuming the bow is made in the USA. This is straight from China. This is close to 50 bucks. This was under 15. The US patent on this product is still current. They've got, another 10 years or so of protection. I don't know how in the world companies like this are able to sneak this stuff into the United States, and I'm not encouraging you to purchase this. Yeah, look at that. I wonder if this is interchangeable with the bow. Kind of sucks if it is, especially if it is protected by patents. Yeah, so with that pressed in place, it is almost a one-for-one perfect match. The rest of the hardware that comes in here is different though. The knobs on the bow are wonderful. In fact, I've purchased just the knobs alone for some future use on some jigs and fixtures. Their spreading bar goes from one side to the other. So once you get it in the slot, you're not fussing with trying to find the other one. That is one of the frustrations I had with the Sawsmith 2000 version, because these T-nuts are rotating free. But this has Yeah, it's got a bolt that's shaped very much like the bolt on the Shopsmith FeatherBoard. And this extruded plastic part, it looks like it was extruded. Yeah, it's just machined out of a piece of aluminum rod. This would pass through. Got to figure out which way I'm going to be feeding the stock. Oh, guess what? I inserted the foam backwards because I have that facing the wrong direction for the feed direction that's called out here on this molding. Yeah, they even copied that on here. Well, I'll assemble this now and we'll maybe flip that over. I've already requested a return on this, not because I don't want to own one, but because the foam finger is already damaged on this one, right there. That's not cool. So those knobs are solid. I thought for sure that those knobs would be hollow. They're okay. So everything about the build quality of this seems to be in line. I don't know how in the world they can make this and sell it for under $15. I don't get that. Unless their goal is to put Bo out of business, which may very well be what their target is. Let me move the camera around and I'll show you exactly how you would set these up to use them safely. All right, so if my goal was to safely rip this stock, first off, I would have to see if these even fit the Shopsmith miter slot, and they don't. Nope, that's for a standard 5/8 miter slot, which we don't have on the Shopsmith. So yeah, I'm gonna cobble together. Let me put the bar from the genuine Bo on here. Again, you see some of the problems we face. Oh, now we're going to see some differences. Look at the size of the bolt here. This looks to be about 1/4 inch, and this looks to be about 5/16 or so. I wonder if this will even fit within these slots. Now, it does. It does. It's interesting. So that would mean that their bolts must be pretty sloppy in this. And now we'll use the knobs from the Bo. Apologies to Mr. Bo on this. I would definitely encourage folks buy the genuine article if they can afford it. You position these in any featherboard ahead of the blade, and that way, as we're cutting off the piece, we're not pushing it directly into the side of the blade. So we would extend this out. You take that up to the blade for a starting point and bring this forward, no further forward than where that board is sitting, and then we'll tighten this down. And like the Bo, that is preventing me from pushing the stock back. Those fingers are doing their job, except for the one that's damaged, right? Yeah, I'm not even going to mess with this. If I have to cobble this together, I should be using the real thing. Put the real boy back on here. Yeah, you know what? I assembled this one backwards too. That's showing a feed direction. The other way. Shame on me. I don't remember doing that. But obviously I did. And again, we'll bring this up, put a little bit of side pressure against the foam. And I just love that. That is just perfect. So the genuine article on Amazon is $37.99, so call it $40. And I hate to even call it a clone, the knockoff is regularly $20. I just happened to catch it while it was on sale, apparently, and I picked it up for $12.99. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you got the money and you want a really nice featherboard, go with the Bo. Support the American designers and patent holders, and let the clones go to the folks that maybe otherwise can't afford a FeatherBoard. Appreciate your questions, comments, and cheap shots. Make it a great day.